I kind of sped through the first 20 questions. Did them like that. They were pretty easy. And then after 20, that's where I got caught up. So I just tried my best to answer the questions that I knew, and then I went back into answer the questions that I had difficulty with.
The math, I don't, I haven't done math in a while when I took the test, and so I went with what I knew. I did what I know. I'm really good at algebra. I'm not that good in geometry and so forth. So I took the chart. I did it section by section. And then if there was a part that I wasn't sure about, I skipped over it and kept moving to what I did know. And when I did that, I kind of had time because I didn't spend too much time trying to figure out one thing. I had time to go back, and with the time, I went back through it and tried to figure out some of the stuff I didn't know that I wasn't sure about. I spent a little more time on that because I had the time at the end. And then when time ran out, I just filled in the rest. Just filled it in.
The math, the first time I took it, that was the last part of the test that I took. So I was rushing through it because I couldn't sit there anymore. I was tired. So I was just clicking to hurry up and finish. But the second time I took my time and I read the question. If I wasn't sure about an answer, I would either leave it and go back to it, or I would just make an educated guess and move on to the next question.
The math portion, one question at a time. One question at a time. And if you do not know a question, you will know right away. But for me, what I had to make up in my mind was, okay, I want to try to tackle this question as much as possible. I'm going to try, but I'm going to keep in mind a feeling for at least a minute and let's say 10 seconds. So no more than like 70 seconds. That's probably kind of like, okay, how am I going to remember 70 seconds? But to just keep in mind that minute feel, when you feel like you're spending too much time on a math question, it's time to move on. Truth be told, to pass the math portion, a 173, on a conversion table, a 173 is equivalent to maybe about 24, 25 questions out of 40. That's on the written. Now, on the computer base, it's the same. You have the time in front of you. But once again, you have to stay focused on one question at a time. But just to be sure that if you just do 24 to 25 questions, you will get a passing score. And I think a lot of us are capable of doing 24 to 25 questions.
During the math portion of the test, it was crazy because math is not my friend. So I definitely paced myself. I used the previous knowledge that I had, and if I didn't know something, I filled something out anyway. I didn't leave anything blank. So, and I paced myself, and I had to do the breathe in and out so I wouldn't get too excited, too stressed because I didn't know. So that's basically what I did.